Hello and welcome, as it is the completion of the 14th day of October 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of the like within each's own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. And I'm going to talk about within the 18 failed moves in this because there's a lot of reasons why I think it's important in today's video. We'll go over Bitcoin against the US dollar, as well Theta as an altcoin, and a new altcoin in which XVS. Going to go over that. I'm going to talk about that in a day trading level, and just as far as just understanding market movements and things that are very common that's going on as well. And another coin that I think is a short setup, if you will, but I don't got the balls to short it or sell and to attempt to buy back later, and I'll talk about that in this video. Alrighty then, so we can take a look here. That I didn't want to have that thing pop up, but yeah, the horizontal array I wanted to put up here, and so far so good as far as supporting this previous level of resistance. And along the way, from the point in which the market sold off, which is from in here, we had a little bit of support down at this low, but a little bit of correction, the big one in here. And since then, we have seen that it has now started to have a nice break above, and the 18 average has gotten above this level of resistance. Not going to calculate it, but to me, it's looked like the 61.8% is approaching within this low and this high. So therefore, it's going to be very important to hold in the area of around in here. And in doing so, even more, I'd like to even see it hold this level of resistance, but to make a higher low from these ones, I think is going to be very important. We've also seen in here, just by looking at this in here, and I don't need to shorten it out to see stuff, but I'll quickly take a look at the short term while I'm here. I haven't looked at it yet, but I can see just by looking at it that over the last few days, we've had a little bit of consolidation within it, but really it's just a little bit. 4-hour term time frame. There's a situation where it had an attempt to break out here, and since then all it's done is thus far successfully correct within this band. A little bit of a buy-in here that got rejected. But since the rejection, it's had a little bit of a rally, but overall a little bit of a downtrend to say the least. And I'm going to cover a lot of this type of look within Theta because that's what it's going through right now when I get to that particular chart. But yeah, the failed move, fast move situation here. And to me, this is what it's looking like in here. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin does eventually go down over the next few hours. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But from what I see here, this was a spot where it broke out. Unable to hold in here. Did manage to come down to this low, pierce below, but spend several periods amongst it. To me, it's looking like the move from this low to this high is going to make a lower high and then eventually break below. But if it does, it doesn't, whatever. Within that situation, and then long term still holding very nicely amongst a rising weekly 18 moving average of highs, and then the same thing here, grinding and just continuing to show strength amongst the 18 average as well on the high end. Let's move this over to the CSV fund, rather XVS, not even close. And I'm going to do this against Binance Coin, not against Bitcoin, although I'm pretty sure it's going to look pretty much exactly the same as what I've been seeing. All right then, so what do we got in the monthly chart? We got one candle that's went down from the start. Okay, weekly chart. Okay, 2 candles. Yeah, yada yada. Daily chart. Oh, it's only been around for a while and slowly been going down. Interesting session here. We had this little line up there, and then yeah, there's still not much. 4-hour chart. And this is where it's going to come down to, is after all, I'm going to be talking about failed move, fast moves, and I don't know if this is going to succeed or not. But whenever you have a market, do this in here, and then come back up, make this gain, like it did, get well above the 18, and spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now period number 6, since the high, still above the 18 average of lows. Yeah, holding this area is relatively important. But if you see failure amongst you, because you've already had the move, and you see a weakness and you're seeing it break down, well, that gives you a short setups kind of deal, or reason why it's going to continue to go lower. But let's take a look at that type of stuff short term, because I want to look more towards this day, because one thing I did mention is that one thing I am doing is trading this against Binance Coin. And when you have situations like this, I mean, I could have got a lot better on this. In fact, I did really poorly given how well this was. This went up to 18.6, and I literally had my sell order in the highest 0.1895. I had 0.1896. It is what it was, but I did have a few sell orders before you buy back. If the market goes down, whatever small swings I can get. But then as I keep on buying, as a lot of it's mentioned within the stuff in the more information box and how the trades are, have my orders in and have all these buys filled and a whole bunch of sell orders ready to go before this happened. And this happened yesterday, and boy, what a fantastic move in which occurred. Now, whenever these things happen, I have a very hard time trusting them, whether they're real or not. And if they're real, this can go way up higher before I eventually know I'm going to get a big pullback. And then you get lucky and you get unlucky sometimes. And that's really weird. I mean, I literally missed this move here by 1 Satoshi. I mean, I didn't miss this one, but this line in here, it represents the area of about 61.8% from the breakout lows to this high, which meant I didn't want to buy anything until I started to pierce below it. So my first buy order is in at 835, and that's a very small one. 825 is an okay one, and then I just continue buying below that from everything in which I sold up. So from the time in which I sold at this top, I have yet to trade this coin. Oh, I did think about it near the bottom of this, but didn't do so. Now, in a situation like this, I see how we had the 18 support, failed breakout in here, not support too well here, starting to break down, even resisting it on the 16-hour stamp in here, showing as if it's going to break down, probably down towards this, and I think it will. But let's take a look at more reasons why, because the 5-minute time frame, which is what I've been following, has really showed a lot of reasons for such. But here's a spot where you get above this point and you can't correct within this and in the downtrend, and then you resist this support, and then again we get above this and then just not holding and supporting well. Now we're seeing all this weakness amongst the 18 average of lows. This is a telltale sign that this is going to go down. Aggressive me, I probably should just sell what I have and then put a buy order to buy it cheaper, and just keep on doing that when I see setups like that, and then increase my value in my coins. On the 5-hour term though, this is so easy to tell, in the sense of right off the bat you had this move in here that ultimately managed to go retest previous low down in here. And then when you have a breakout at this stage in here, adjust to the message of the market, because it looked like as this was going down at 15.10 and 15.15 stamp that this thing is ready for a new leg lower. And I still think it is, because it hasn't done it yet. Oh, but nope, adjust to the message of the market. We've broken past this level of resistance in here. Is it able to revert the trend? Good luck to you, but it's always going to come down to how it's able to hold this move. Yes, this can just go sky fly like it did. I meant to do that, but it meant to compare a yesterday's sky fly move. But for now, I'll go to that in a bit. So here's the move, and then what do we see here as it comes down the 18? First, a quick correction, but no buyers coming in at this level at around the 889 handle. Comes back to this previous level, and when it's rallying here, it makes it very difficult to trust this rally. We can see it's just been grinding. To me, a telltale sign, again, that this is going to have just a few more of the moves lower. But whenever you see these gains, markets go up faster than they go down. A lot of the reasons why it's the case is because when people buy, it's just more common that people buy in mass at the same sort of time than they do in the selling ventures. And here's a spot where in 1 minute, this is a 4.8.2% for the minute. And then all of this, and this happened at 16:52, 4:52 New York time. And then at 5:26, 2 3/4 for that minute up, and then 3% up, and then 4.5, and then this big minute here, it goes up 8 3/4. And that's just what can happen. Big buyers come in at this point, then they're going to stop buying, and then you just get this slowly grinding your way. Markets again going down a lot faster, slower, up a lot faster. Then they go down. Look how fast this goes up, and then the down move here. And then the fast move up here, and then grind down. And it's been just grinding this move from this low to this high, basically from this level on. Alrighty, next up is Theta. And actually, I'm going to do another coin as well. I'm just looking through my list. I'm like, oh yeah, I meant to do that one. So it'll be a bonus one. It's Bitcoin Cash, by the way. Alright, this is the 1 minute chart. I didn't even... Okay, whatever. I don't care. The daily chart is the... what I'm mentioning here, where... I mean, what a phenomenal rally it has been from... So, like, first we have... from this low to this high. Then the correctionary move. Higher low to this level, and then a move to retest. Now what I like here, we have seen this blob of congestion supporting, and I mean it's even resisting a piercing above. So this area here, which it spent very little time at before, it just spent a significant amount of time. So markets can correct one of two ways, and I like to say and or, but this might not be really an and. This is really mainly price correction through time as it goes short term. And you're going to need the shorter term time frames like 4 hour, and so on. But we obviously, and this is holding on, but how much longer will it do so? We're not making any higher highs. This is most certainly a downtrend looking at it from this perspective. And you know, after you have a majorly tested area, if you break it, well, you're probably going to have a significant move. And you know what, oftentimes, where does it go? And I really think Fibonacci is where I want to handle this aspect. And I haven't done this yet either. I know the low's about 1,000 or so for this, and this high is about 73. We got a low here at 930. I'll do we'll do 1,000. And 7,400. So within my calculator, I'm going to take that number 7,400 divided by 1,000, which is basically 7.4, to the root of 0.764, which is the next number I'm looking for to go down to. Then 0.618, and you can put in 0.382, and it's going to put an up target, down target, and 23.6, but those numbers I won't care about. So 76.4 comes in that of, wow, that's a little ways down, 46.14. So let's just go ahead and put in a line around that area. And I want a little bit lower just because it usually pierces extra and... Okay, why is it not moving? There we go. 4,600. I guess that makes sense. But well, I was expecting that number to be a little bit higher. 34.45 and then 21.48. So I'll put the approximate horizontal ray levels in for such. And I suppose you'd be looking at 15.4% correction is pretty much done, a 9% correction from that level. But if we have a decent sized break, I mean, these things can go have decent sized retracements after significant moves. This was a 3x move just from this low, let alone it's a gain of about 7 times. Or yeah, over 7 times from these big lows, or big lows, small lows, however you want to define such, from before. Now, when this thing gets going, and it might be already there, it's like well extended from the 18, and we've had one on the second week, if not even the third. You can count this one here, just or two, whatever, this one, and part of this one correcting. That if you ever see short term that this thing gets going, because as mentioned on the daily chart, and I think the 4 hour is going to show it better, yes. We've been making all of these lower highs, that it's got to make some sort of move above this 18 and sustain itself. Correcting in here, obviously not succeeding, got above. Every time it's done this, it hasn't broken down from its established support, as mentioned in the 63 low change. If it does, you're looking at a fast move to at least for now, to the 55,000 change area. And if I use just a basic calculator, 7.4 to the exponent of 85.4%, multiply the low, or the level of 7.4, which is a high divided by a low number. No, it's multiply the low. So the low is like 1,000, I think. Yeah, 1,000. Well, that makes it 5,525. So that would be my expected target. Would be 55.25, a 15% move. If, of course, support gets broken. I still don't know if it will or not. It looks like it will, but there's a greater than 50% likelihood with all the lower highs showing as it will. But yeah, if you're going to break this, it's all about, oh yeah, we're going to just have a small move down to here at 6,000. No. If it is, it's a failed breakdown. I mean, if you have just boom and it comes back, okay. If it doesn't resist, I'd be looking forward to go much higher. But if it does break down this, I'm expecting at least somewhere around here, like a good size move. And let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash next. And short term, it's got a great setup, amazing at this point. But this move that I'm going to be talking about, I mean, this is, again, if it fails, oh well, but it's a big statement as I'll look at this when we look at this on the daily, but the hourly time frame. After we have key high and key low. Market has gotten above it. It has held and stayed above this the whole time. In fact, we've supported on two occasions. But from this level here, which is yesterday morning, Tuesday morning, today being Wednesday night, and come in here, failed breakout play. But within the failed breakout, successful correction. And now a breakout attempt in here, which when I look at how it's played amongst this, how it's leaving the 18, breaking this short-term level of resistance, you know what, this to me looks poised and ready to go. And on the daily term time frame, it's either real or fake. I mean, a failed move, ouch. But when you see this and you have this move come in with a break above the 18, for it gets above this yesterday morning and has done so far well in holding it for a significant period of time, a day and change, or about 30 plus hours. Okay, that's interesting, and that's cool because we've been in this sideways consolidation pattern. And with this buyer's force, or whatever you want to name such, it's either the start of what's going to be at least another leg move higher to previous support at the 25 handle, or it's a failed breakout, as we are now. If it's a failed breakout, I want to see weakness and stuff falling from around the 208 level. And if that's the case, then again, I'd be expecting it to have another leg lower. But at some point when these things go, markets go up a lot faster than they go down. I'm not going to try to predict which of these coins and when these coins and how big they're going to have their moves. That's pretty predictable. Again, they'll happen fast and furious, like a movie. Although not like the movie, but named like the movie. And thus, if it's ready to go, oh my goodness, you hit this coin 30% in a day, or it's 4x in a week or a month, and that's just how it goes. And then when it retraces back, slower down than it is on the way up. And finally, Tezos, which I think is going to go down this price objective to around the 15,500 level, or 1550 handle. There's 7 decimals on this. Most of them have 8, but it's not 50. It's a 5-digit code if you really want to get technical. But it's all about how the price movement comes into play. All right, so as it goes, yeah, this is one of the rare times I've seen when the market really didn't support Fibonacci too well as it goes. So whatever you want to live within these numbers, not often I've seen. And then this pattern of resisting these lows and support obviously ended when it broke down below September 15th, around that area. Establishing the support, but what has it done since? It comes down in towards this in here. We can see it just grinding the 18 average of lows, but 3 periods in a row, boom, 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 here up to the yesterday's session. Had a small gain, barely breaking above the highs, and really just testing these previous levels of resistance. But I do notice that it's probably going to, I think, come down and retest this support. But because it's went down this much, that's the reason why I'm going to have a hard time trusting these rallies, and I'm already seeing right now how it just failed it really quickly, especially when it goes down faster, pretty much, or around the same speed when it goes up. But touche to whatever on that for them to a degree. I do see this selling on decent sized volume again. That tells me that this thing could continue going on. You never know if that's somebody who's looking to sell more. as this time frame comes, time continues to go further. But as it goes in here, this is a spot where you've managed to have a nice little move around here. Yeah, a small move below the 18 lows is fine, but whenever I say holding and staying above or below something, this is where it gets big, because if it can hold and stay above the 18 average of lows at about 20,300, that's pretty big, and it can still do that. However, else not doing that, and I see resistance at like in here and lower, and even most certainly it going down to like another couple more percent to the 1950 handle, is showing me that this would be a failed breakout, and that we've had a lot of support around this area that we're probably going to violate this number and then make a move down to about the 15 handle. I don't have the balls, if you will, to take a bunch of my Tezos, sell it on the market, and then have my buy orders ready to go for a price point of maybe a 25% discount, and then get free Bitcoin, get like 25% more coins, something of that nature. Not going to do it. I'm going to continue trading it back and forth with other coins. And then, of course, if this goes down, then all the trade ratios I've been filling, a lot of them will just get filled naturally that way, which is pretty cool if that's the case. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.